All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're breaking down a fascinating strategic report that really gets under the hood of what makes a modern global icon. We're going way beyond just celebrity and looking at a true masterclass in market power.
So let's kick things off with a pretty big question. In a world that's just swimming with influencers, how do you actually measure real, tangible power? You know, the kind of influence that actually moves markets. It's a question that brands are constantly trying to answer.
And the answer this report gives us is crystal clear. Forget about follower counts. Forget about likes. That's old news. Real influence, the kind that matters today, is all about the hard data. It's about a provable, measurable ability to get people to act and to generate serious financial value.
Now, before we get into the really juicy numbers, there's one key term you need to know: earned media value, or EMV. Think of it this way: it's the price tag on genuine buzz. It's what a company would have had to spend on ads to get the same amount of attention they got for free from, say, a really powerful Instagram post. It's pretty much the gold standard for measuring this stuff.
So, who is at the center of all this data? Jisoo. The report looks at her not just as a part of a group, but as her own standalone commercial force. And her portfolio of brand deals, well, that's the blueprint we're going to be deconstructing.
First up, we're starting at the very top, the big leagues. We're talking about the ultra-exclusive world of high luxury. This is where an ambassador's true value is really put to the test. Okay, get ready for this first number, because it's a big one. $1.74 million. That was the media impact value, which is a lot like EMV, that was generated by a single social media post she made for a Dior fashion show. One post.
And if you thought that was wild, it doesn't stop there. For another Dior show, just 3 of her Instagram posts generated almost $12 million in earned media value. I mean, the return on investment there is just on another level.
Now, to put that number into perspective, that wasn't just some random figure. That nearly $12 million made up over a quarter of the entire EMV for the whole event. She, by herself, drove 26% of the total buzz for a global fashion event.
And this isn't a one-off. Let's look at another luxury giant, Cartier. I mean, this bar chart is pretty stunning. In 2022, Jisoo was responsible for 45% of Cartier's total EMV for the whole year. Nearly half of the brand's organic media buzz came from just one person.
And this is where you can see how brilliant the strategy is. She has Dior for fashion and beauty, and Cartier for fine jewelry. She's dominating 2 completely separate, incredibly high-end luxury sectors, and there's absolutely no conflict. It's just a masterclass in portfolio management.
Okay, so she's an absolute powerhouse in the world of high luxury, but the big question is, can that same magic translate to brands that are a bit more accessible, more everyday lifestyle products? Let's see what the data says.
Well, the answer seems to be a massive, resounding yes. 633%. That's the insane increase in Tommy Hilfiger's EMV in the Asia-Pacific region, and the report directly links that explosive growth to her collaboration.
And her lifestyle portfolio is so smart and diverse. You've got Alo Yoga for wellness, Dyson for high-end tech. The strategy is pretty clear, right? She brings this elite, aspirational vibe to these premium products, which helps them totally stand out in what are usually very crowded markets. Okay, next up, we're diving into a world that is notoriously skeptical of celebrity endorsements, the world of gaming. In this space, if you're not the real deal, the community will see right through you. Authenticity is everything.
And this, right here, is her secret weapon. She isn't just someone holding a controller for a photo op. When she casually mentions defeating some of the toughest bosses in MapleStory, a game she's played since she was a kid, that's a level of genuine authenticity you just can't fake. It's an instant connection with that core community.
So, does that authenticity actually convert into real results? You bet it does. Right after her collaboration with the mobile game Kartrider Rush Plus was announced, the app shot up the charts. That's a direct line you can draw from her genuine connection to real market action.
So we've seen luxury, we've seen lifestyle, we've seen gaming. But what's powering all of this? Well, now we get to the foundation, the absolute bedrock of this entire commercial empire. And it's all anchored by the proven, mobilized buying power of her solo music fanbase. Just look at these numbers from her solo album, Me. They're absolutely historic. The first female K-pop soloist to ever pass 1 million pre-orders.
the first to sell over 1 million copies in the first week. These aren't just music stats. For a potential brand partner, this is a financial report. It's proof that she has a massive global audience that is ready and willing to spend money.
And that power is undeniably global. Her single flower hit #2 on the Billboard Global 200 chart. This isn't just a regional success story, this is top-tier global reach.
Her streaming speed is just as incredible. She became the fastest Korean female soloist to hit 900 million streams on Spotify. But here's the really wild part. She did it with a discography of only 6 songs. The level of engagement she gets per track is just completely off the charts.
So when you take a step back and you put all of this data together, what's the big picture it's painting? Well, it looks a lot like a new kind of global ambassador, a totally new archetype for what influence means.
The whole Jisoo Blueprint really boils down to 3 key pillars. First, you have that proven data-backed ability to drive tens of millions in value for the most elite brands in the world. Second, you have this incredible versatility to take that same influence and apply it across completely different sectors. And third, the whole thing is built on that rock-solid commercial foundation of her solo music career, the ultimate proof of her fanbase's economic might.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. In a world where influence is the ultimate currency, is this data-driven, multidimensional, and commercially proven strategy the new blueprint for what it truly means to be a global icon? Looking at these numbers, it's hard to argue that this isn't the new gold standard.